Eighth and final race of the BMW IBSF Bobsleigh and Skeleton World Cup. We're in Königssee, Bavaria, the oldest artificial ice track in the business. Martin Haven and alongside me, US skeleton slider Greg West, as we try for a second time to get the women's race underway. It was snowed off this morning, and we are just sitting after the men's race in the teeth of a snowstorm. But Greg West, this track may be old, it may be well known, but it isn't short of a challenge for the sliders.
It's definitely not short of a challenge, and it's definitely not well covered, as we're finding out the first time we tried to have the women's race earlier today with the snowfall, definitely causing some havoc. It's known for this really unique start ramp. It goes downhill and all of a sudden flattens out, and some people can actually run it a little too far, and it tends to buckle you over. And then we go into this nice leisurely turn one, setting the tone before we go into the S's. Probably one of the most fun place to slide in the entire world. S1, S2, S3. It's just flowing and beautiful sliding sensation. And then it gets interesting. The bend away, where the guy that drew the track coughed whenever he was drawing a straight line, and that's what you get. Into the 360-degree Kreisel, one pressure, two pressures, and then the big third pressure. We'll see some action right there. Sleds coming out on the right and the left side, and maybe a couple on their bunks. In the C curve, and then Echo Vaughn, which sliders will be pulling up to 4 G's of pressure, and then the two finish corners where everybody's just ready to cross the finish line.
Yeah, desperate to get down. Whether they've got any speed left or not really depends on how they get off the Kreisel. Jacqueline Lerning of Germany, our World Cup champion from last season, our world champion on this track last season, is our World Cup points leader and the track record holder. And she needs a top 10 result to guarantee the Crystal Globe for the second year in a row, ahead of Canada's Elizabeth Archer and the woman who preceded her to the World Cup title, Tina Hermann, who lies third ahead of Elena Nikitina of Russia. Well, the Olympic selections are all done. Now for the pride of winning the Crystal Globe, the final race of the season for the women. This morning's first attempt, 8:45 a.m., a really wet, nasty, sleety snowstorm. We got 11 runners down, and that was the end of it. Anna Fernstedt of Germany there, she was the next to go, but Jacqueline Lerling and her teammate Tina Hermann, who between them have 4 gold medals in the last 4 outings on this track, were 1.47 and 1.62 off the pace. It was clearly something, but what it wasn't was a race. So that was stopped, and we are now ready to go. Both heats hopefully will get underway. Greg, when we came into the booth some 20 minutes ago, it was throwing down with snow. Now it is much less than before, but the intention is to try and run a full World Cup race. So the start list, as it was before, Nozomi Kimura, Takako Oguchi, first and second off. Maya Pedersen, the 2006 Olympic champion, will be the third of 25 athletes in the field. And as ever, the fast 20 go through into the second heat. So the challenges are numerous. There's the start, there's the snow, there's getting off the S's and somehow dealing with the squirrely straight. There's getting off the Kreisel and the labyrinth below. And even the final corner can win you or lose you a race on this track. The final World Cup race of the season, the final 2 slides. Before we go to the games, it's Nozomi Kimura of Japan who gets the action underway.
Nozomi taking off in the snow, not wasting any time as soon as she gets the green light, yelled off by Kyle Tress, 5:11. So a good start time for her. We see the snow still falling a little bit, and there are some open areas on this track where that could play a factor.
Well, her first start in really wet snow was a 5:31, so that shows you how much better the conditions are. And in fact, there's little snow on the straight.
Couple of big skids going down through the bendaway into Kreisel. 106.6, that's a speed we're gonna watch throughout this heat. A little skid on the second wave, comes out and through the chicane cleanly.
Yeah, nice run through those doodles, as the Canadians call them, the lower labyrinth. 1:11.9, and that's some 5 kilometers an hour quicker than she went in the first heat.
We're still seeing a lot of snow on the exit of Echo Vaughn. She takes the on-take of that finish curve through and down. 53.05 for Nozomi Kimura.
Well, that's only 3.7 seconds quicker than she was in the snow earlier on in the slightly less snow of this run, so at least it's a little bit more manageable.
Casual 3 seconds. For those of you that weren't with us this morning, if you look at the outrun, that's how much snow they were sliding in. We're seeing her exit S4 down the bendaway. It is normal for the sliders to take the tap right there. The key is to not skid. So we see her take the tap to try to shoot the rest of the bendaway, and it kicks out to the right and then to the left as she slides in the inner.
So Nozomi Kimura of Japan gets things underway. Takako Oguchi is the second of our 25 sliders in the field. Coach Kyle Tress waiting at the start line for the ding-dong sound, and the moment she gets the 30-second countdown, she needs to go. Every second means more snow on the run, and that means more friction.
Takako gets away pretty quickly. Still had a few extra seconds there of snowfall on the track. 5:07, so a faster start time than her teammate. We'll see if she can use it.
She was 700s faster in the first heat than her teammate. The one that didn't count. 400s quicker in this one, so she's in the green.
Little rough transition, S1, S2, and S3. She really needs to clean it up through the bend away. You see her feet working a lot. You really need to relax into the sled and let it build some speed through that section.
107.6 kilometers an hour quicker than her teammate at 106.6.
Better looking Kreisel comes out cleanly, up 700s through the doodles, doesn't touch the wall.
111.9 for Nozomi Kimura. Takako Oguchi gets 111.9.
Same speed, she'll hold on to the green number. 600s in the lead. She needs a good finish curve to stay in the green.
Could go away.
Oh!
It does go away. She was a kilometer an hour down, so she lost it, and we talked about this. Every corner here can cost you a position, can cost you a race, and the final corner, uphill out of Ecovant, no question. Get that wrong and steer a little too much, and that can rob you of a tenth of a second.
So exit Kreisel right now comes out and just sneaks it through. A nice looking run through the chicane, or the doodles, or about 15 other names that Greg Rafter, the Canadian, came up with earlier today.
Well, what you want to do is trickle through the bottom of that like a little stream. Next up is Norway's Maja Pedersen, the 2006 Olympic champion, sliding on the sled and the runners with which she won skeleton gold in Torino.
Now, I know we're supposed to be unbiased in this position, but go Maja.
Yeah.
Go out on a big note. She really had the worst draw possible in the first heat whenever it didn't count. So for the mulligan here, I am absolutely hoping to see her throw one down and go out in style.
Well, she and husband Snorre Pedersen with Alex Hanson trying to recreate a skeleton program in Norway. 5:18 getaway.
Much better start than her first heat. But you see this snow is starting to fall again.
Yeah.
She's a tenth of a second back. She drops into the S's. Good looking transition, S2, S3. We'll see how she comes out of the fourth, right down the pipe.
And look at the runners, can barely see any skidding at all. This is a really nice looking run for Maja Pedersen of Norway.
Couple of small corrections, but 107.0 going into the Kreisel. She doesn't skid on the second pressure. That's the one that tricks you up. And a clean exit into the chicane.
Teammate Alex Hansen, 11th in the first heat. Clearly his best World Cup run, 111.8, right there with the Japanese.
She's still in the red by 2/10, but she's holding speed through the bottom well.
Don't forget, 20 of our 25 athletes go through, 2300s behind, 53.28. And again, Snorre saying hi to the girls back home.
The girls' mom just went 7 seconds faster than the first heat,
Yeah.
so that's an improvement.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that'll see her through to the second heat, but I'm not holding out a ton of hope on that.
There's Alex Hansen. He's been allocated a space. The Norwegian Olympic Committee may not let him go to the games.
See Maja going through bend away, takes that tap that we're going to see pretty much everybody take, and you see her relax in her sled, a little toe action going into Yinner, but we will see a lot more leg action throughout the heat.
Yeah.
By the way, I think it stopped snowing.
I think it may just about have. Let's see if Laura Dees of Great Britain can manage to do that. She was due to be calling the men's race after the women's race, but the men's race came after and before the women's. You follow me.
One of those words that are hard to say. You know, the English language is difficult.
Let's see if she can put in a run that will justify her position as the top British slider. 6th in the World Cup standings.
5:01 start time, fastest start of the heat by a 10th now. She's trying to improve on a 56-second run in the first heat. I'm going to go out on a limb and say she's going to do that.
Okay, let's hope that's not the curse of the commentator. Laura Dees in the green over Nozomi Kimura of Japan.
Up 1700s, nice exit of S4, takes a gentle tap. You see her, oh, breaks into a skid, going into Yinner, a little skid on the exit as well.
106.5, that's the lowest speed we've seen into the Kreisel so far.
That sound you hear is her dragging her face. She's 1100s up, but she's going to be down on speed.
She'll be 2/10 behind at the line, 108.8. That's really not good.
Really all my fault, isn't it?
It is indeed all your fault. 98.3. She's barely going to make it up to the finish line.
53.63, so she was better than the 56, but not the lower Ds that we've seen the first 7 races of the season. But hey, getting the bad one out of the way right before the Olympics is not the worst idea.
Well, 4th at the moment out of 4 sleds. Not guaranteed to make the second heat on that run.
Entrance Kreisel, we see that first wave over the yellow Deutsch post line. You see it going up near the woodwork on that second wave, and that's something we're going to look at throughout the rest of the heat, and then comes out and clips the right wall on the exit of Kreisel. Here it is again, exit Kreisel clipping the right wall. I think she actually sneaks over and tags left. Yes, she does.
You hit one, you hit them all, don't you? You just get fired from wall to wall, pretty much.
I think somebody in the men's race hit 4 times going through there. That's a new record.
Yeah, Tretyakov did, for sure. Next up is his compatriot, Elena Nikitina, the Russian. And she lies 4th in the World Cup standings. 2 wins this year, Park City and Innsbruck.
See what Nikitina can push. We were taking bets last night at dinner whether she'd go sub 80. 86.
Well, that's only 1/10 better than her first start, which is a 4.96. But then, of course, when you've got so much explosive speed, the snow has a little less effect early on.
So you're dropping through the S's a little low in S3. It comes out of S4 cleanly. Now you see the runner slipping away from her. She got a little skid. A lot of toe action.
Not being straight at all down the bend away. 107, barely any better than Laura D's, so that gap is going to come right down.
Big third wave, but she comes out clean. She's got 3/10 as she goes through Kalstein and in a C-curve.
Well, she needs to have this advantage early on because the German girls that follow are going to be right on her heels. 109, not great speed at all.
99.7 into the finish curve. She's got to stay down and stay in the lead, and she does.
Oh, she is behind Nozomi Komuro of Japan and Takako Iguchi of Japan, and that's how poor a bend away she had.
That is what happens when you let the back end kick out in the flat portion of the track. Wow. Did not see that coming. Not trying to take anything away from Takako or Nozomi, but that is somebody that has competed very strongly on the world stage.
And it's not fair to say that the snow is worse for her, but look at this skid, and that skid, and the next one.
I'm not blaming that one on the snow. She had a skid into the wall, which all this energy, watch her head and her legs, when she hits the wall there, that's all energy that should be going forward. And then as she goes into Yenner, you see it kick out and she has to drop a toe again. It's going to be hard for her to make the second heat.
If it was a drift competition, she'd be leading. It isn't, and she isn't. Nozomi Komuro, Takako Iguchi, 1-2 for Japan. Elena Elena of Latvia, 6th of 25 starters in this women's skeleton finale. 4.98, good start from the Latvian girl.
Lelda's been on a tear the last few weeks. It looks like she came back with Christmas with a little bit of swagger. She's got her confidence back. And when you're training with the Dukers brothers all day, every day, it can only make you better.
Oh, little skid. Martin Stukos and Thomas down there in the blue jackets watching the action trackside.
See it breaking left and right all the way down Bendaway. 108.1. She has a good first pressure, a nice second pressure. If she can hold it together here, she's going to pull away.
Top speed.
Go ahead. 3,400's up on the exit of Kreisel.
Top speed so far. We're looking now at 112.1. So she's the fastest so far all the way down.
It's going to stretch out to 6/10 by the exit of the finish curve.
All right.
Nah, I was wrong. 46. Only casual half-second better than the field.
52.59. And in the snow, the run she had was a 55.67. So that's a really nice run from Lelda Elena. Missed out on the glamour of Samoritz for another race weekend in Altenburg last week to score more points in European Cup racing.
Exit S4. She comes out and she's lean and she wants to take that tap, but you don't want to drive it into the wall. Looks like she skims along the left wall all the way down, but you see the sled break loose to the left there, and watch her feet. She had to come back to the right, and that is energy loss. Trust me, I know. I missed the second heat for doing the same thing.
Yeah. Well, there's Denis Dukurs, who looks after the Latvian team. Lelda Elena leads, and now here is the woman who lies second in the World Cup rankings. Lisbeth Varche of Canada, 3 silvers and a bronze so far from 7 starts this year.
Liz looking to pull ahead and take that crystal globe away from Lolling. We'll see how this result turns out.
She's going to need an epic race here. 5:02 might not be doing it. Not feeling the healthiest at the moment.
The snow's still flickering down, but the track's looking clean. Good height in S1. She has good S3 height. She'll have speed, and she does. Comes out right down the pipe. She needs to take that tap. You see it break into a skid.
Minimal tap dancing down into Yenna curve. 108.8, fastest speed we've seen so far.
Skid in in the second wave. Gonna come out and tap, and she does. 600's up, and you're gonna watch that bleed away. You cannot hit out of Kreisel and accelerate here.
The Doodles do not like Canadians. It's as simple as that.
It's gonna tap left. She's in the snow too. That's gonna hurt, and this is the deficit's gonna stretch out a bit here.
All right, she'll be second at the line by a tenth, 52.69. So, okay, up to the Kreisel, we were good. Kreisel below needs a little bit of brushing up.
It'll be interesting to see how that time holds up against the Germans. I know Liz would like to have that back. I know she's in second right now, but she won't be happy with that run and looking forward to move up the second heat. Coming down Bendaway, she takes the tap. Big hit, though. You watch the feet fly up, and then it breaks away on her. And then coming out of Kreisel, comes out, skids, and then drops a runner on the left side.
Came too late down into the labyrinth and then hits everything, skids her way through into the Sei curve. So she lies in second to Elena of Latvia. Nozomi Kimura of Japan still third. Next up is Janine Flock, former World Cup champion. Crashed out in Altenburg, almost wrote off any chance of going to the games, and then bounced back with victory and a resounding one a week ago in St. Moritz.
I joked with Janine last week. Her season's kind of been the win it or bin it kind of season.
Yeah.
She's either going to win it or not make the top 20. Luckily, she's won it a couple of times.
And not made the top 20 a couple of times.
Well, I wasn't going to point that out.
Yeah, 61.0, good momentum, a little slower than we saw from Lisbeth Arce.
Nice run through the S's. Right down the pipe. She looks relaxed. She's going to try to drive it without taking a tap. Bold move.
Well, you saw the eyes where she wanted to go, and the sled did what it was told. 1:10.0, top speed.
Good speed. Comes out and shoots it clean. 2/10 up. We'll see what her speed is as she goes into Echelon.
112 plus, she's going to be good. 113.8, that's fantastic speed.
Coaches say driving Bindaway without taking the tap is slow. Janine said, okay, yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Woo! 4,600's up, 52.13.
I think Mickey Grunberger is the kind of coach who says, if you want to drive it, drive it. You know, she's got enough experience under her belt now. Janine Flock knows how to find a time. That puts her in the hunt for the medals. She leads by 4,600s.
Exit S4. Rule number 1 in skeleton in Königssee. Don't drive Bindaway. That rule just got amended. Comes down. Doesn't look like she has to steer too much and sneaks it through without much of a skid. Then exit Kreisel just slips it by that right wall. Head down and buried. When you trust it, it will be clean.
She's ripped up the Bendaway rulebook and written a new one. Janine Flock, a big lead. Let's see if Jane Channel of Canada can conquer the Exeter Kreisel that has tripped her up every single day this week.
Jane told me just before this race she thought she made every mistake she could in the canceled first heat. So I was like, well, then you got nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
4.87.
What a smoking getaway.
Big start from the Canadian, which we're used to, but that is a really big start.
Massive first corner speed, 61.7 kilometers an hour, 38.3 miles an hour.
Tapping on the right wall, then the left, so the double tap going down Bindaway. She can't skid, and she doesn't.
No tap dancing.
Down on speed, the 108.7 compared to the 110 from Janine, a sled before.
Oh, and the Doodles get her as well.
4 taps in the Doodles is not going to help, and then she's on the wrong side and in the snow. 110.8, she's going to fall back.
She'll be behind teammate Elizabeth Arce at the line, possibly. No, Arce's fourth, half a second back, so she'll be in second place. Wow, 3,500's back, so 52.48 so far. Apart from Janine Flock, not a bad run. That's the second quickest we've seen, but she's 3,500's behind Janine. Now, last week, Janine won by 4,600s over 2 heats in St. Moritz. Can the Austrian girl have such a big advantage over the Germans here?
Jane, exit Kreisel. She's been struggling there all week. 1 tap, 2 taps. As we check the reverse angle, only 3 taps. I'm sorry, Jane. I thought it was 4.
Yeah.
But that is just speed going everywhere but forward.
Yes, it is. Jane Channel lies in second place. Janine Flock leads. Next up, Katie Eulander. Only 12 women went in the aborted first heat. Katie Eulander, one of those. Let's see what she can produce. Her first start, 5:18. She should be considerably inside that now with no snow falling at the top.
It's actually turning out to be a pretty nice day in Bavaria.
Could be beautiful.
Katie pushing that Bromley sled, looking for something in the O's. 5:10, so a competitive start, 8th fastest start. She's 600ths off the lead as she drops into turn 1. Good looking line into S1 right down the middle. Looking for big height in S2 and S3 right up near the woodwork. She's a little low, but right down the middle on the exit S4. Katie putting on a clinic down the bendaway.
Won't say that she's won races on this track back in 2007-8 because she says, you always say that makes me sound old. Experienced. 1:08.6, good speed from Eulander, really good speed.
She's 2,900s back as she goes through the doodles or the flip-flops or the chicane or whatever you want to call it. 1:13.6 through Echo 1.
Only Janine Flock has gone quicker.
3,600s back still. I think she's going to be in second, maybe third at the line. Third
at the line, 52.58 slide. Katie Eulander, again, she's in the mix, but we haven't seen any of the German women yet.
Tuffy Latour rocking the Father Christmas beard this year.
Well, you know, it's going well. What about, having that earlier start today? I know it was 3 or 4 hours ago, but is that going to take a little bit out of you?
It's 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other.
All right, Janine Flock leads from Jane Channel, Katie Eulander, 10 down, 13, 15 to go. I keep saying 23, 25 sleds. 10 down in Königssee, Bavaria. Now we get a trio of German women. Tina Hermann, 2 wins and 2 silver medals in the last 4 outings on this track, including last year's World Championship. She's been beaten by teammate Jacqueline Lurling on the last 2 outings. Can she find the form to grab her 5th medal here in Königssee?
Tina looking to improve on a 55.44 in the canceled first heat. I'm pretty sure she'll have a chance to do that here.
If she doesn't, it'll be the most dramatic pictures of Tina Hermann we've ever seen. 5:08 getaway.
8th fastest start, 400s off the leader.
A couple of hundreds quicker than we saw from Katie Eulander of the USA.
The Germans do the S's better than anybody. We saw Axel use the S's to win the race earlier today. A little skid before she takes the tap, though. You see her working her hips.
Okay, looking for 1:08, 1:09.2. That's second only to Janine Flock.
We'll see how she comes out of the Kreisel right down the middle. You can't draw it up any better. So she's 1,600s back in Kalstein. Can she reel in the Austrian?
Janine Flock, 1:13.8, 1:15.7, sensational. This is what Tina Hermann does. 1:06.1. She's going to speed into the lead.
52.06. Big run from the German Hermann.
Yep. Wow. Well, that's how she won 2 gold medals in the 15-16 season and 2 silver medals last season. We've raced here 4 times in the last 2 seasons for one reason and another.
Exit S4. You see her leaning her head, just like, get over to the wall, get over to the wall. It puts it into a small skid, but minimizes the tap, and obviously it worked as she took the lead.
Tina Hermann of Germany leads by 700ths of a second. Next up is Jacqueline Lurling, the woman who won the last World Cup race, who won the last World Championship race on this track. She's our World Cup points leader. She's our reigning World Cup champion and world champion. And she, the leader in the yellow jersey, needs just a top 10 run to take her 2nd consecutive Crystal Globe in her 3rd year as a World Cup slider.
I bet you a coffee at Germans leading after the next 2 sleds.
All right, I'll give you that. Axel Junk at the top cheering her on, just won his 1st ever World Cup race in the men's competition.
We'll see what Lowling can push here. It's been her Achilles heel in the past. 5:17. She's 900ths in the hole. I have a feeling if anybody can reel it in, she can do it.
She could be leveled by the Kreisel. 60.4 is good momentum. Not quite as quick as Tina Hermann.
Good looking run through the S's. Pretty much perfect exit. You see her chin strap flapping in the wind. I know that's not on purpose.
That might be 100th of a second. She just steered away from the wall. 109.9 to 109.2 of Hermann.
Second fastest speed, though, to the Austrian. She's 100th back as she goes into Kalstein and into C-curve.
116 and change. 114.5. Now the race is on. Tina Hermann was 115.7. She's still in the red. 400's back. Tina Hermann had 106. Jacqueline Learning will not lead, but she will be. Oh, in third place, 100th behind Janine Flock. Jens Muller gives a little ripple of applause.
We got a race on our hands,
We
Martin.
do have a race on our hands. Any more blue sky? A little bit.
Blue sky went away, but it doesn't look like there's much precipitation, so.
No. Well, it is clear as it's been for the women so far. So, 3 covered by 800ths of a second.
Exit of the Kreisel. See her right down the pipe. I don't think it went away there. I believe it went away in Kreisel.
Working hard to steer there, and a big steer here as well as she comes off Echo. So it's just those tiny little extra bits of sideways momentum that she's getting for the line she needs. Next up is the hometown heroine. Anna Fernstedt was dropped from the World Cup squad at the beginning of the season, but her results at the second tier of sliding were so good they had to bring her back for Whistler, where she finished 6th. Took her second career bronze medal in Altenburg 2 weeks ago, and this is her home track.
5:19 start, 200s behind her teammate Lowling. She's 1400s back as she's in the S's, but as all Germans do, she builds late speed. So we'll see what she can do. Holding steady at 1400s back, so she stopped the bleeding.
Just brushed the wall there in that little tap. How close will she be on speed? 109, 109.6 is very good.
Good looking speed, good looking second pressure. We'll see how she comes out right down the middle like her teammate. She's at 10th back. Can Fernstedt reel in Hermann?
Needs 115, 115.6. She's going to close on Tina Hermann a fraction. She may be in front of Jacqueline Learling. This is going to be insanely close to the line. Fastest speed of all. She's going to lead. She does lead. The 21-year-old from Bavaria who started sliding here from the Christopher Schuler just down the road. Anna Fernstedt has the lead by 200ths from Tina Hermann, a 2-time winner in the last 12 months on this track.
Probably the run of her season. Not bad for the girl that got cut before the World Cup season started. 52.04. Exit Kreisel right down the pipe. If you want to know how to drive through the chicane, just watch this. Not even close to a wall.
Well, we've had one first-time winner today in the men's race. If she can hang on, she will be our second of the day. Okay. Stakes are raised now for the Olympic champion Lizzie Arnold. Started the season well, bronze medal in Lake Placid, and since then it has been a roller coaster ride. If she can focus her attentions on this track and get what she needs out of Merv in her sled, then she'll be in good form to leave the World Cup. 5:01, that's not a bad start.
Lizzie needs to get Mervin moving here. 5:01's a good start. She's got good velocity, 61.1 as she drops into the S's. She's another one of those athletes that loves to build speed late. We just saw Anna do that. She's a quarter second up as she goes through Bendaway.
Skids and taps. Little bit of tap dancing down the straight.
On the wrong side of the track, going into Kreisel, 108.3, so she's down 2K. And little skid in the third pressure, she's down, or she's up 600s, but I think it's gonna go away.
You heard the runners scratching there as she got into the Z curve. 112.7, we've seen 115 from the German girls, so she doesn't have the speed on board. 3 kilometers an hour down still. 5th place at the line, 4400s back. Well, a top 5 finish here would certainly be one of her better results of the season.
Well, Lizzie's made it very clear that this World Cup season is a testing session, getting ready for the big show, which is coming up here in less than a month in Korea.
She is the first woman even to attempt to defend an Olympic title in skeleton.
Exit Kreisel, she comes out and just clips that right wall. Looks like she snuck it through the rest of the way cleanly, but that was a little bit of energy loss, and in a race as close as this, those mistakes add up.
Absolutely. Top 4 covered by 1/10 of a second. And next up is Kimberly Bos of the Netherlands. Claimed her spot for the Olympic Games at the end of the first 7 races in the World Cup, which was after St. Moritz. Her teammate Joske LeConte, unfortunately, not being allowed to take up her spot by the Dutch Olympic Committee.
Kim's going to be interesting at the game. She's the bronze medalist from the test event in Korea, so she could be a dark horse pick to really do some damage. 5:01 start is only going to help.
Yep, 5:01 as quick as Lizzie Arnold away from the line. Anna Fernstedt, our race leader, started 5:19. So Bos with a handy advantage now.
Big height in S1, a rough transition in the middle there, and a skid on the exit. She's 2/10 up, but that is going to hurt her cause.
Speed in needs to be 109. It's 107, so she's going to lose all of that and more.
Big loop on the second wave. She needs to clean it up on the third. I think it broke free on her. She's went from a quarter second up in Bendaway to a quarter second down by the exit of Kreisel.
This track's so well known, and yet still so many disappointments in it. 110.6, 101.1. She's going to be 7th or 8th. No, not even that at the line. Oh my goodness, 53.25. Wow, that is going to leave her in danger of not making the second heat. She's 13th of 15 sleds. Behind her, Maya Pedersen by 300ths. And Laura Dees, 15th and last, 3800ths behind Kimberly Bos. Laura Dees, I'm saying now, will not make the second heat.
This is where it went away. Came into S4 and that big, long skid takes the hit, and then into Kreisel. We'll see a nice line through the first one, but the sled's going to spike up right here near the woodwork, and that's up in the frost, and that's just going to slow it down, and then it looks like, we don't see it in the replay, but the sled actually skid under pressure in the third wave.
So Kimberly Bos, tail of the field at the moment. 15 down, Anna Fernstedt, Tina Hermann, Janine Flock, and Jacqueline Lurling covered by a 10th. 15 down, 5 spots left in the race, and Marina Gilardoni learning this week that she should be able to go to the Winter Games. A big boost for the Swiss miss, who's been struggling with injury for the last couple of seasons, but she is now almost fit again.
5:04, so she's starting to get her push back. She was ready to come to this track. She's got 2 bronze medals here in the last 4 years, so she knows how to build some speed. We'll see how she comes out of S4.
The podium in both races in 15-16 was the same. Hermann, Lurling, and Gilardoni in both December and February races.
108.3, a little down on speed. She needs a really good third wave at Kreisel. The back end kicks out, and she clips the right wall. She's dead even as she goes into Kalstein.
Tied for the lead, but the speed will have gone away compared to Anna Fernstedt, who was clean as a whistle. 111.4, Fernstedt was 115.6.
4,300s down as she goes into the finish curve, down a few K.
Yeah.
And watch her fall.
10th at the line. And she is 1,500s behind Elizabeth Arche, who started a couple of hundreds quicker. And again, exit of the Kreisel just cost you so much. The bend away wasn't kind to her, but the exit Kreisel really didn't help either.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be happy with that run, but the good news is when you have big mistakes like that, you can move up in the second heat. Not really sure. Oh, that's exit Kreisel. We see her left foot up, so she's skidding, and then she comes out and clips the right wall. So she was already losing time and then has a wall tap on top of it.
We've seen sliders coming in to shot there right in the bottom of the frame and right at the top of the frame. Neither is right. Next up, USA's Kendall Westenberg, second of the 3 US girls in the World Cup this season. And her mum is here as well, as she was in St. Moritz, supporting trackside.
Kendall just named her first Olympic team. She's incredibly stoked. That's a lot of pressure off. We'll see if that translates in some fast sliding. 5:11 start time, so she's 800ths ahead of the pace going into turn 1.
Again, at the end of her second full season in the World Cup, 60.5. That's about a kilometre an hour off the fastest momentum, but those were from the rocket sled starters, not from the Germans who are dominating at the moment.
Rough transition through the S's, a little skid before she takes the tap. It looks the ice is a little harder than she anticipated. 107.5, so she's down a couple of K. She needs a really good Kreisel here.
Little bit of a panic steer at the end of the Kreisel. That drops her down 3/10. The speed will be hovering around 1:10. Oh, 1:12.7, so she's recovered well. That's the same as Lizzie Arnold had.
Did something right there. 103 at the bottom. She's 5,900s back.
Hit less stuff. That's the deal. The less you hit, the faster you go. 52.89, so just outside the top 10. She's 500s behind Marina Gilardoni.
Right in the mix. There's a few sleds that are within a couple tenths of a second around the 10 spot.
And that's the nature of this track. We saw it in the men's race. Lots and lots of gaps of 100th or 2 or 3 or no hundreds at all. Lots of ties.
I think Kendall will be pretty happy with that. Exit S4, you see a little toe action and then a small little skid as she comes in and clips the wall there like everybody does. And then going into Echo 1, we see her nice, smooth line, good aerodynamic form. Solid run from Westenberg.
17 sleds down. 18th of our starters in the field is Julia Kanakina, the reigning junior world champion in women's skeleton. Kanakina lying in 21st in the World Cup rankings. Best result of the season, 10th place in Whistler.
She's kind of been the solid second fastest pusher all year. 4:89, wow. Solid start from the Russian.
Well, that's the third fastest, 86 from Nikitina, 89 from her, 87 from Jane Channel.
Now, this is the hard part for her. She's been struggling through the Kreisel all week. She's 4/10 up.
Lots of leg action there. Can't stay still on the sled. It's writhing underneath her, 1:07.7. Okay, better speed than we just saw from Kendall Westenberg.
Little toe action on the exit. Kreisel comes out and clips the wall. She's 1,400s up. She lost 3/10 in the Kreisel. She's down on speed and in the red as she goes into Eckelbahn.
Not many people at the moment have come out of the Kreisel with a lead, but look at the way it goes away. 100.0. That's the slowest speed we've seen since Laura Dees. Wow. Goes from first into the Kreisel to 12th at the line. And a lot of that was lost, Greg, on the bend away. But from there on in as well, you're always fighting it.
Yeah, the bend away was tough, and I actually think it started back in the S2, S3 transition. The angle of attack wasn't quite there. You hear a lot of ice being cut. We see her going through Echo 1 right here. Good looking form, but she comes out on the wrong side of the track and right into the snow, and that is nothing but hitting the brakes.
Almost no one's been there. So the former ballerina in 12th position. 18th place, Laura Dees. 19th of our starter is Jackie Narracott of Australia, and she too has just learned that she has earned herself a spot in the Winter Games in Pyeongchang. So Narracott has been improving over the last couple of seasons. Career high for her, 8th place in St. Moritz this season. Last time out.
5:09 for Jackie, the 13th fastest start. That puts her up a 10th on Fernstadt as she goes into the S's, extending the 1,400s up. Big height in S1.
I think I better correct myself. I'm sure she said last week 8th wasn't her career best. She's had a 7th place, but whatever.
She got a 4th in Lake Placid, I think.
Oh, she got a 4th in Lake Placid.
She's really not going to like you. Big skid going into Kreisel. And 1:06.7, way down on speed. She's going to need a really good exit here.
Not bad at all. Now, let's see what she can keep on board. But if you haven't got any speed to start with, then you're not going to have any more lower down. 1:11.2, not as bad as we saw from Kanakina.
17th place right now. She's just ahead of Laura Dees. Can she hold on to it?
Needs to find a couple more at the line. She is just ahead of Laura Dees and behind Maya Pedersen by 300s. That's 2 sleds behind the 2006 Olympic champion.
Maya Pedersen may make a second heat here.
Yep. Well, it would be the first time this season, or since her comeback, that Maya has made the...
I think she made it in St. Moritz.
You might be right. I'm struggling to find my piece of paper. No, it was in Altenburg, in fact.
Oh, that's right. Exit S4. Good aerodynamic form. You see her head down, eyes up, taking that tap on the slider's left side, but then it breaks away right there. You see the toe come out, overcorrection, and a big skid going into Yinner, and that's just pulling the brakes.
Yep. And teammate Don Parsons rode up from 18th, or boyfriend Don Parsons rode up from 18th to 11th in the first heat, in the men's race rather. Next up, Joske Leconte of the Netherlands. Well, She and Kimberly Boss, as a pair, earned 2 spots for the Netherlands, but the Dutch Olympic Committee did not allow her to take that spot up, said she didn't meet their ultra-strict criteria. Well, Joska in the form of her career, really. She's never slid better than she does now.
Yeah, it's tough. 11th, 12th, and a 14th this season. The best season of her life, but just not quite enough to meet that standard. She's 1,700s up as she goes to the S's, and I think she's just looking for some redemption here.
Yep.
Little toe action on the exit S4, a little skid, a big hit and bend away. We'll check the speed going into Kreisel.
Was 1,600s up, 108.4 is 2 kilometers now, better than we've seen from Jackie Narracott, so this could keep her in the top dozen.
Little skid on the exit of the Kreisel. See how she holds her speed going into Echo 1.
Clean here, though, 111.9, that's slightly better speed than the Aussie.
This could be a top 10 run.
Could be the top 10, let's see if she gets it at the line. She is in 11th place by 400ths of a second behind Marina Gilardoni. And the irony there is that Gilardoni gets the alternate spot to go into the games because Joska LeConte is not allowed to take hers up.
Solid run from Joska. I think she's going to be very happy with that.
Yep.
It's just an opportunity just to come and slide and enjoy sliding. You know, I don't know what her plans are after this, but for the last race of the season. Big hit in the bend away. We see her coming through the third wave at Kreisel. That right toe is up, and that means she was in a skid, and that's where the speed starts to go away.
So Joska LeConte completes her first run for the Netherlands. She's in 11th place. The race is full. On the bubble is Laura Dees of Great Britain. At the top of the pile is the hometown queen, Anna Fernstedt, leading a German 1-2-4. 5 sleds to go here. Happy birthday, by the way, to Great Britain's Maddie Smith, 23 years old. So last week she wanted me to make sure that she mentioned it was boyfriend Ollie Bidov's birthday. This week, two-way family favourites works the other direction. Maddie Smith with a 5:03 start. That's a good getaway from this young slider in her first World Cup season.
She's been a part-time performer this year, but a good-looking run. She looks like she's going to try. No, doesn't. Try to drive it, changed her mind at the last second. Big skid in on the wrong side of Yinner. And one of the slowest speeds we've seen today, 105.9. Big skid on the exit as well.
And from the green into the red, and from 11th down to 18th place, it's either her or Laura Dees. They can't both make the race. 110 better speed than Laura, not by much.
8,500's back, 99.9. She's in 19th right now. Does she bump out her teammate?
Yes, she does. She finishes ahead of Laura Dees by 2,300ths of a second. But again, it all went wrong on the bend away. A little change of mind, and that went really badly wrong for her.
I can tell Maddie's a little upset with herself, but it is not easy competing on the big stage. Those little mistakes do add up. See exit S4. It looks like she thinks about trying to drive it like Janine, and then changes her mind right there and just puts it into a big skid and into the left wall. You can watch her feet when she hits the wall, shoot all the way over, and that just shows you how much energy was lost. And then on the wrong side of the straightaway as she goes into Yinner.
Only her third World Cup start, like teammate Marcus Wyatt, made her debut in Innsbruck 3 years and a week after first lying on a skeleton sled. One of Woody's wonders in the British development program. Next up, 22nd of our starters, Renata Kutsina of Russia, 19th in the World Cup rankings at the moment.
We'll see what the third Russian can do here on the start ramp. 5:04, 10th fastest start. She's up 1,500s on Fernstedt. As she comes out of turn 1, you see a little toe action, though. 60.7, a little bit down on speed.
Yeah, you don't want to be starting to toe tap right out of turn 1.
Nice exit of S4. Oh, little skid again, and when you skid into the wall, it's like doubly bad.
Again, Tokyo drifting all the way down the straight, 107.3, but look at the plummet down on the second pressure.
Good looking run on the exit of crush. She's 1,500 back, big hit. Going to Kalstein.
Oh, she's going to feel that on her left hip tomorrow morning, 109.6.
In 14th on the exit of Echo, stays out of the snow, down to 17th.
She might not make the race. This is going to be very close. 17th at the line. Out goes Jackie Narracott. I beg your pardon, Jackie Narracott's in 20th on the bubble. Maddie Smith and Laura Dees, 2 of the 3 British sliders, do not make the second heat.
Did not see that coming when I rolled out of bed today.
Me neither.
We see coming down the bend away, she turns it nose into the wall before she hits, and that is a lot of energy going sideways, and then breaks into a skid going into a yinner, and then this hit on the second doodle flip-flop chicane, whatever you want to call it, taking this hit with your hip at 65 miles an hour, that's going to leave a mark.
That's nasty. It's going to be black, blue, green, and yellow down the side after today's race. 3 to go. Who is going to make the field? Who is going to bump Jackie Narracott? Savannah Grable next up for the USA, the third of the US sliders. She does not get the opportunity to go to Pyeongchang this season, but still in the early stages of her career as a skeleton slider.
Savannah's been pushing really well in practice. Seems like she got it back 5:18. She's 100th ahead of Fernstadt.
Best result this season on home ice in Lake Placid, 11th place. She was 19th last weekend in Samoritz.
Good looking run through the S's. She needs to trust it on the exit.
500s off the lead. Not too bad down the straight, little skiddy.
Little breakaway going into Yinner, 108 even, so kind of right in the middle of the speed as everybody else, but a big second wave and a big third wave comes out and nicks that right wall, 2900s down.
Wow, she just avoided the big impact. She's in the race now, up to 19th on the split times, 1:11.9. That's decent enough. That'll get her in. She'll move up to 16th, maybe 15th, 1:02.0. That's the fastest we've seen in about a dozen sleds. 17th at the line. That's the run she wants.
There you go, Savannah, bringing in speed late in the run. That'll get her in the second heat pretty safely.
Well, you somehow escape hitting that short wall out of the labyrinth, out of the Kreisel, and then you've got speed on the sled still.
Looks like a sigh of relief, got the first one out of the way. Zach Lund picking up the sled.
Jackie Narracott bites the dust. She, Maddie Smith and Laura Dees don't make the cut, and now 2006 Olympic champion Maya Pedersen's fate hangs in the balance. Katie Tannenbaum and Maria Montejano are the two remaining sliders. Well, Katie, an occasional World Cup performer in most seasons. Last time she was here was in the World Championships last year. This is only her 4th World Cup start of the season. She has not made the cut, either in North America or in Europe. Spends most of her time in the Intercontinental Cup, the second tier of sliding.
Katie forgot her gloves.
Oh.
That would be weird. Sliding barehanded would scare me to death.
Well, I'd rather forget my gloves than my helmet or my spikes, but you know, that's just that's a personal thing. That's third on the list. Oh, 4th after your vest.
Oh yeah, that too. That's kind of a sore subject in the US program.
5:27 start for Katie Tannenbaum. She has got experience on the track.
2900's back, she takes the tap, and you see it skid and tap left again going into Yinner, and that's going to cost her some speed. 106 even.
All right, that is the lowest speed we've seen into the Kreisel in the run.
Take the double tap, triple tap in the bend or in the doodles.
Well, she too will not be going to Pyeongchang, so she'll return to the Virgin Islands, and I don't know what, like plus 25 or something from this winter wonderland in Bavaria. 24th at line, 54.32 for the slider from the Virgin Islands. And that rounds out Katie Tannenbaum's World Cup and skeleton season for 2017-18. Mathematician from the Virgin Islands.
Well, when you're leaving the snow to go to the beach, I don't feel as bad for you, but I know she's a little disappointed in this run.
Yeah.
So you're coming down the bend away, takes the tap just like everybody else, and it shoots over to the right. She overcorrects and actually drives it back into the slider's left wall, going into Yinner, flexing for the camera.
Last Christmas we left Lake Placid, minus 27. She went to the Virgin Islands, plus 30. Oh dear. Next up is our final slider in this penultimate heat of the season, Spain's Maria Montejano. And can the girl from Barcelona break into the top 20? She made the cut in Winterberg, but that as her only second heat World Cup race. 5:24 getaway, little quicker than Tannenbaum.
500's behind Fernstadt, the leader, and then taking a tap going into S1, 59.9, so she's down on speed.
Well, the girl she's trying to beat is not our race leader, Anna Fernstedt. It is Maja Pedersen, the 2006 Olympic champion.
Big leg action going down Bindaway. She's in 24th. We'll see if she has a good Kreisel here. She can drive into the race. Big dip near the woodwork. Sneaks it out with a big skid through the doodles.
All right, this is just about going as badly as it possibly could from Maria Montejano, and she will not make the heat. Maja Pedersen will be in the second heat of the race, and this is the final 100 meters of the season for Maria Montejano. She goes back to Barcelona as the 25th slider in the field at 55.03. And you know, that was the throwaway first run in training that accidentally got popped in the race day kit bag.
Yeah, that'll happen. I know from experience on that point.
Well, it happens to the best. It happens to everybody.
So you're going through Kreisel, that big dip. She drove over the top of the first wave, up near the woodwork, and then she tries to hit it on the third wave, comes out smartly, puts it into a skid, and that probably saved her from dumping the sled.
Yeah. A wild ride for Maria Montejano. Never mind, okay, time to go back and get trained up during the summer and start it all over again. Meanwhile, one heat left in the year. A double bronze medalist in her 2 World Cup seasons, Anna Fernstedt from Bavaria, leads the race narrowly. German girls swept the podium 1, 2, 3 in Altenburg, the last race in Germany. They might just do it again. And Fernstedt, never a race winner, leading on home ice. Well, here is how they stand. Fernstedt from Tina Hermann, 2 wins 2 seasons ago. Jacqueline Lurling, 2 wins, including the Worlds last year. And Janine Flock, the fly in the ointment by 100th. And then everybody else, okay, they're out of the equation.
In race 2 that are, 4/10ths back.
Yeah. A tie between the Olympic champion and Jane Channel in 5th position. And then we got a couple more very close battles down the order to the bottom of the top 20. Maja Pedersen will start what will very likely be her last ever World Cup race as the first sled on ice in the last heat of the season. Join Greg West, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew to see how the final run of the year works out in women's skeleton. And they will be on ice in just over 35 minutes at 4:15. We'll see you then. Bye for now.